Today we're going to talk about some common VA myths. The first is that you have to go with a big bank in order to get a solid VA loan. False. Most of the time working with a broker, you're going to have a better experience, lower cost, better communication. Everything about your entire process is going to be much smoother. Big banks absolutely are going to come up with a higher cost loan at submission. You're going to have origination, you're going to have underwriting, you're going to have points, you're going to have processing fees, sometimes one or two of those, sometimes all four. So many times I go in and look at an estimate from somebody who has already been approved with a big bank, and I'll look at it and think, not only can I beat the rate, but I can also do it for $5,500 in closing costs cheaper. Please shop around, and specifically shop with a broker. Second myth, you can have more than one VA loan at one time. I have 3 or 4 that I can think of right off the bat of customers over the last 10 or 15 years. Bought their first home, called me, said, Rand, I want to buy another house. I don't want to sell my existing home. Can we refinance? First question I ask is, how much do you want to spend? Know what the VA county loan limit is in the county that you're working. Most of the time, you can fit in a second loan or maybe even possibly a third loan using VA benefits. The massive first and most important point is, are you going to live in the home that you're buying next as a primary residence? If the answer is yes, and you have another VA loan, the odds are good you can move forward with another one without having to refinance your first. I talk to at least 1 or 2 veterans a month that thought they had to sell theirs to get another VA loan. Third myth, when you are underwriting a VA loan, debt ratio is thrown out the window. Modern conventional underwriting for debt ratios does not apply with a VA loan. VA uses on the back end, how much money do you have left to pay the bills for you and your family? Typical banks, big banks, will allow probably a 50 to 55% debt ratio with a veteran. God's honest truth, you can go up to 70, 72, 73% of debt ratio for a veteran. I'm not saying that's what you should do, but sometimes you may have a spouse that we're not counting that income and you can easily manage a higher debt. But because the big bank has overlays above and beyond and stricter than a typical bank, this will allow you to buy a bigger home without being penalized or being told no entirely. VA says yes to all of those things. You can have a recent Chapter 13 bankruptcy. You can have a later 2 with an explanation. You can have a higher debt ratio. So don't just take whatever this person on the other side of the big bank phone is telling you for fact, because 90% of the time there's probably a workaround. Make sure you're working with someone who's knowledgeable enough to know the difference.